to nurture critical thinking. Throughout the Fish Tank ELA curriculum, students will build knowledge in three core areas. They will build a knowledge of the world around them, a knowledge of self and others, and a knowledge of their power to create change. Building this knowledge is at the heart of all Fish Tank ELA units. Gaining knowledge is essential for tackling increasingly complex texts and building critical thinking skills. Researchers examine the impact of prior knowledge on middle school students' ability to comprehend the text. The researchers used the passage about a fictional baseball game and found that, with no prior knowledge of baseball, even strong readers struggled. However, those students with knowledge of baseball, even those considered struggling readers, outperformed their peers. With this in mind, Fish Tank ELA aims to provide students with the appropriate background knowledge to comprehend and think critically about texts. The three types of knowledge that students build over the course of the middle school curriculum are knowledge of the world around them, knowledge of self and others, and knowledge of their power to create change. You will see these three types of knowledge being built throughout the units and the curriculum. As students build their knowledge base, they are able to access increasingly complex texts throughout the curriculum, as well as complex texts independently. Now let's explore some examples of how students build knowledge of the world around them. In the 6th grade unit, Fleeing Conflict, Refugee, and the Unwanted, students will begin the unit by reading The Unwanted, a nonfiction graphic novel by Dawn Brown that focuses on the experience of Syrian refugees. In 7th grade, students engage with the unit Defining America, poems, essays, and short stories. This unit focuses on the diversity of immigrant experiences, as well as supports students in finding the answer to the question, what does it mean to be American? Finally, in 8th grade, students work on the unit Surviving Repression, Persepolis. In this unit, students learn about the experiences of a young girl during the Iranian Revolution. Students build knowledge of self and others in many units throughout the middle school curriculum. For example, one of those units is the 6th grade unit Expressing Yourself, Women in the Arts. In this unit, students explore the topic of coming of age through stories about the experiences of professional female artists of color who have fought to claim their space in a world that has long excluded people who look like them. An example of building knowledge of self and others in 7th grade can be seen in the unit Finding Home, the House on Mango Street. In this unit, students explore the American experience through the eyes of a young Latina girl who struggles to define herself in relation to her community. An example of how the curriculum builds knowledge of self and others can also be seen in the 8th grade unit Facing Prejudice, All-American Boys. In this unit, students explore the American experience through the eyes of two young men, one white and one black, connected through an incident of police brutality. And finally, knowledge of your power to create change can be found in many examples and texts throughout the middle school curriculum. In the 6th grade unit, Finding Connection, The Outsiders, students explore the topic of coming of age through the story of a young man struggling to determine right and wrong in a world defined by violence. In the 7th grade unit, Claiming Our Place, LGBTQ+ experiences in the United States, students explore the contributions and experiences of LGBTQ+ Americans in the past and present. And finally, in the 8th grade unit, Facing Calamity, Climate Change, Facts and Fictions, students explore human nature by studying the climate crisis and its causes and impacts, as well as the role of the government, businesses, and individuals in finding a solution. Principle 1, building knowledge to nurture critical thinking, is also present in the structure of the Fish Tank ELA curriculum. Standards first instruction means that each lesson is aligned to a specific standard. Mastery of a standard is the focus of the lesson, and each lesson is seeking to teach discrete skills to help students master a given standard. This is not how Fish Tank ELA is structured. Instead, Fish Tank ELA is a knowledge-building, text-first curriculum. Knowledge building and building a deep understanding of the text, not just the standards and skills in isolation, are the focus of all Fish Tank ELA units and lessons. Standards are still a foundational aspect of all Fish Tank units, but standards are taught in service of a deeper understanding of the text and the knowledge that students are building. Standards spiral from lesson to lesson, unit to unit, in order to help students build understanding. For example, when engaging with the text The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, students interact with the following standards, all of which work together to build a deeper understanding of the text and the unit tasks. Building vocabulary is also essential for building knowledge. Students build vocabulary both explicitly and implicitly through interacting with the core text. For example, here is the vocabulary from the 7th grade text, The House on Mango Street, by Sandra Cisneros. Throughout the unit, students learn a variety of vocabulary words that help them understand the text and are given multiple opportunities to practice using vocabulary orally and in writing. Vocabulary is broken down into text-based and academic vocabulary words. Text-based words are words that students learn and interact with from within the text. Academic vocabulary words are standards-based or literary words that students need to understand to write and talk about the text. As students build vocabulary from one unit to the next, they are able to use the words to tackle and make sense of increasingly more complex texts. The essential questions, which are the focus of the knowledge that students build on in each unit, help build critical thinking skills. The essential questions require students to take the knowledge that they have learned over the course of the unit and apply it to more complex, nuanced questions. For example, in this unit from the 7th grade curriculum, students will engage with these essential questions after reading American-Born Chinese and learn more about the different stereotypes against Chinese people and the way that they can impact a person's identity and the way they feel about themselves. The knowledge base that students build across the unit also directly supports social emotional learning, or SEL. SEL is not a separate component of our curriculum that students engage with. Rather, it's an essential part of the Fish Tank ELA materials and class block. For example, in the middle school curriculum under the header Notes for Teachers, the curriculum provides notes to help teachers prepare for a specific unit and conversations that may be challenging or difficult for students to have. Additionally, in this section, Fish Tank supports students in building knowledge to nurture critical thinking by providing connections to future Fish Tank ELA learning. For example, as noted here, you will see that the learning in this unit prepares students with knowledge to understand content in both Unit 3 and Unit 4 of the 8th grade curriculum. And finally, under the previous Fish Tank ELA connections, teachers can identify what prior knowledge students have built to support them in understanding this unit. In this instance, students have gained knowledge throughout the 6th grade curriculum about refugees fleeing their homelands in search of safety during times of persecution that will support them in understanding the core text for this 8th grade unit.